Okay, folks, welcome to this week's Friday Waffle. As you can see, I'm going commando. I didn't bother with the baseball cap. It's weird, but the baseball cap, when I do videos, when I'm in front of the camera, I've always put the baseball cap on, and yeah, it's become Mainmeister. When I've got the baseball cap on, I am Mainmeister. It's a weird one. I do wear baseball caps when I'm out and about, but yeah, it primarily stemmed from kind of YouTube. And like I says, every time when I do a video, it's like, oh, better get the baseball cap on. But like I says, I'm going bald this time. So anyway, I hope you're all fine. I was on holiday. I was actually in Benidorm in Spain. I went away on Thursday and I came back yesterday. I'm actually filming this on Friday. So I came back. I was away for a week, and I'll be honest, I wasn't really looking forward to the holiday. Um, Benidorm, we've all seen the TV program Benidorm. I've actually just started watching it. I'd never watched, I had no interest in it, and I've started watching it. We started actually watching it when we were there, which was I thought was quite funny. But yeah, I was never a fan of Benidorm. I'd never been before, but I'd obviously formed an opinion based on what I'd seen on YouTube, what I'd seen on TV. People have this opinion that it's like a shithole. It's just full of pubs with two shots for a pound, people getting pissed, just an absolute kind of slum, really, really scummy. And that was kind of my opinion. That was the opinion I had of Benidorm. I'd never been, and that's one thing that annoys me when people form opinions about things they've never actually done. So anyway, I we went. You're probably thinking, well, why the hell did you go? The reason being is because my girlfriend very, very kindly offered to pay for the holiday as a thank you for me helping her move house. She moved house about 4 months ago, and her and I single-handedly, or is it possible to say have two people and then say single-handedly? Probably not. But anyway, the pair of us moved her house, all this stuff. So that was a thank you to her, which was fantastic. And she had suggested Benidorm, and initially I was a bit like, oh, I don't know, but I'd mentioned it to a few people, a couple of guys at work, and the guys that have money, guys that are not like they're managers, and a couple of guys had said, you know what, Benidorm's lovely. He says you'll really, really enjoy it. It's got lots of scenery. It's definitely more than just what you see on TV. So I started to think, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. Started to kind of look forward to it, and then in the run up to actually going away, there was I was kind of googling as you do when you buy anything or you're going to do something. You watch YouTube videos. I started watching a couple of YouTube videos, and some of these were like why you must avoid Benidorm, 10 reasons not to go to Benidorm, and it was all things like it was most along the lines of like the bouncers in these clubs, they're actually pretty violent. Apparently like guys getting taken into a cupboard and having the absolute shit kicked out of them is quite a commonplace. And apparently the police completely turn a blind eye to it, which I find really really kind of weird because I mean Spain's obviously it's a civilized country. It's not set in the dark ages, and why the police would turn a blind eye to things like that is beyond me. So I've been watching a few videos of things like that, and I'm thinking, oh god, this is going to be awful. But you know what? The hotel was beautiful. I think it was a 4 star we were in. Hotel was beautiful. Food was excellent. There was like different stuff every day. We were fully inclusive, so we had obviously breakfast, lunch, and evening meals. Um, the food changed every day. There was a couple of things like chips and what have you, bits of chicken and that were kind of consistent. every kind of meal time, but loads of nice stuff, sweets, you name it, you had it. So that's always a big part, is the food good? So that was great. The hotel itself, the rooms were really nice, typical Spanish rooms, pretty kind of basic. We had a shower. Um, but I suppose the highlight, I would say, and this would be part of what probably some people would say would be the reason they would avoid it, was the entertainment. I think probably 4 nights out of 7, 5 nights out of 7, the hotel had put on entertainment, and of course, as you would imagine, it was things like Elvis Presley. There was an Adele. There was a Shawadi Wadi. If you don't know who Shawadi Wadi is, go and ask your granny. They'll tell you. There was all these different acts. It was effectively karaoke. There was not really anyone playing any instruments. It was just people singing. And you know what? If you just embrace it, you appreciate where you are. You're going to have a good time. Have a few beers and just enjoy it. And that's exactly what we did. We just enjoyed ourselves. The great thing is going at that time of year, it's very, very quiet. There was none of the young like teenagers. It was all, we were probably the youngest people there, which was quite funny. In fact, we ended up getting really friendly with this nice couple, a guy from Newcastle and his wife. She was from Scotland. Um, they were in their 70s, late 70s. We were a lot younger, obviously, but they were lovely, really, really nice. We met lots of nice people from Belfast, Dublin, Scotland, Glasgow, you name it. In fact, one interesting thing was I met a guy. He lives in Arbroath. He's got what do you call it? A fish shop. Um, and I was telling him, says the only person I know that came from Arbroath was Dominic Diamond, and he's like, I know him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know his dad. I know his granny. Blah blah blah. So yeah, apparently Dominic Diamond. I mean, I know Dominic Diamond came from Arbroath, but his whole family stemmed from there. And he said he knew him. He said that he'd done really well for himself. So that was good. But yeah, like I says, we went down, we'd have our meal, we'd go down to the entertainment, and just enjoy it. We went one night. We went to see a Meatloaf tribute. Yeah, it was quite funny. The guy was completely bald, and then he goes into the sort of changing room, puts on a wig. He didn't sound an awful lot like him at all. The girl that was she was meant, I don't know who she was supposed to be. Well, she was doing the obviously the female part, like Dead Ringer for Love. That was Cher. She was the female interest. Um, quite old looking. In fact, I'll put a picture up. I'll let you see a picture. Quite interesting because I mean I'd only had a couple of pints. I wasn't drunk at all, but my girlfriend Lee, she enjoys dancing, so she was dancing all the time. And we went to this meatloaf place, and she wanted to get her picture taken. And I said, "Oh, I'll get my picture taken as well." And then the girl said to me, "Just jump on my back." And I went, "Sorry, sorry." She goes, "Jump on my back." So I did. And obviously you can see the result. Yeah. But it was one of these holidays where you just, like I say, you made the most of it. If you went along, you know, and with the intent of not having fun, then you wouldn't enjoy it. And I know I mean, people have described Benidorm as like Blackpool with sun, and I suppose that is quite an accurate description of it. I would say I don't really like Blackpool. No offence to anybody that comes from there. One of my mates, Steve, lives in Blackpool. I'm not a fan of Blackpool. I think going to Blackpool for a week would be my worst nightmare. But Benidorm's different because you've got the main sort of street, which is just kind of the street back from the beach, and it's just full of pubs. Pub after pub after pub. They've all got free entertainment. We didn't have to pay for any entertainment. Um, like I said, there's a lot of bad press about the bouncers being, overly enthusiastic when it comes to kind of getting people out and that kind of thing. But if you step away from that and you go to the beachfront, it's completely different. And then if you go to Old Town's beautiful, typical old style Spain. And then one of the days, I can't remember the name of the place, we went on this day trip to this little this little village which was quite high up. Um, Beautiful. The only thing is, going at that time of year, it wasn't that warm. We had one day where it was 22 degrees and it was really warm. It was sunny and it was warm. When we went to that village, it was bright sunshine. I mean, I'm not going to let you see photos because you're not interested, but the photos I took, it looks like it could have been like 90 degrees and it was actually really cold. There was a cold kind of wind. Um, but yeah, never ever judge. If you've never been to Benidorm, and you want a place that does everything. And one great thing about it is really cheap. I mean, a pint of Guinness costs me just over €3, which is about £2.50. You're not going to get that anywhere else. I didn't really get drunk at all. I mean, because my girlfriend doesn't drink, she's never drunk ever. So I used to have maybe a couple of beers at night, and that was it. We didn't really go down to the pool or anything. We just went out and did our own thing, kind of thing. We did have only one downside. It was we didn't get up until about probably 11, 12 o'clock every day, because you were up till, half 12, 1 o'clock at night, and then obviously you kind of slept during the day. But yeah, for anybody that's never been to Benidorm, please don't judge it based on that programme, Benidorm. Yeah, that side of Benidorm does exist, but there's a whole lot more, and it's a shame for people to judge part of a country based on TV programs and just this one little bit. You go into any big city centre, you go into London and go into the roughest pub. Can you imagine if they just judged London based on a couple of rough pubs? It's not fair. There's nice parts and not so nice parts to everywhere. But we actually liked it that much that we're going to book up and go back next January. So that was it. So got back on yesterday, Thursday. I was back home for about 5 o'clock. Pretty knackered. Back to work on Monday, which I'm not looking forward to. And I'm also, where am I going? I'm actually going down to Swindon on Tuesday. So yeah, I didn't really want to have to be going to the airport quite so soon. But that's been it. Yeah, obviously from a gaming perspective, I never played any video games at all. I took along my Ambernick, whatever it's called, RGB something, or took that along. Never used it once. Um, yeah, so that's kind of been it. One thing is weird. My subscribers in the last month has gone up by about 33, I think it was at the last count. And yet for probably 3, 4 months, if not even more, it was completely stuck. It just was not budging at all. And for some obscure reason, I've no idea why, because usually if you get like a big jump in subscribers, it's because you've maybe been mentioned in somebody else's channel. If that's happened, I'm not aware of it. Or you maybe put out a video that for some weird reason it gets tons and tons of views, but that's not happened. But I seem to have picked up quite a few subscribers in the last month. So yeah, I'm now at 4,400. Holy shit. I will do a special when I get to 5,000, though it might take another couple of years to get there. But yeah, mental. Never ever in my wildest dreams where I thought I was going to get to these kind of figures. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody that's recently joined the channel. Obviously, massive thanks to everybody that continues to support me. It's always appreciated. Apologies for not getting any videos out last week. I did have a couple of pre-recorded. I had, what did I give you? I gave you the Edinburgh Computer Club podcast. That was on Tuesday, and I think I had the one video where it was a C64 demo. So that has been it. Not a hell of a lot to talk about. I've got one question which I'm going to look at. I will hopefully be along on Sunday. Back to the usual, like I said, I'm not going to be promising you that I'm going to be doing a live stream every Sunday. But yeah, it's been a wee while. It's been a week since I've done anything, so I'm going to try and get one done on Sunday. So anyway, let's leap across to last week's Friday Waffle now. I've got an absolute beauty here. This is from the epic Milfy Swinbuckle 5158, he calls himself. Hello again, Main Meister. Question for the waffle. As a riff, As a riff on the nice and nasty gaming podcast you do, here's a question based a little on the same format. You're stuck on the island, let's say for a year, and you're only allowed the following choices below to live on. Thus, in the food choices, you get 6 picks: one main meal, one small meal, one cereal, etc. etc. Food choices: one main meal can be bought in a restaurant for 15 quid or under. One small meal, such as beans and toast, or one type of sweet, one type of cereal. Food choices: one main meal. Would it have to be the same meal every day? Because I think I'd get pretty sick of that. Oh God, 6 picks. Yeah, I'm going to assume that it's going to be the same meal that I'm going to have every single day. One main meal. Uh, Now, given I'm going to be based on a desert island, I'm obviously not going to be working. I'm going to have all the spare time. So I'm going to be keeping extremely fit, building and maintaining my tree house. I'm going to be able to go for a run. I'm going to be able to swim in the sea. So I'm going to burn fat. I'm definitely going to burn fat. So I'm not going to get very fat. So I think, I mean, if I was to pick 3 of my favourite dinners, it would be steak and chips. It would be fish and chips from a chip shop. Uh, Steak pie and chips. Yeah, you see, I like chips. Ooh, one main meal. I think I'm going to go for fish and chips out of a chippy. Um, yeah, because the steak, whilst steak is beautiful, you do get fed up of it. But I think I don't even have to eat the chips. I can get the chips, but I can leave them. So I'm going to go for fish and chips as my main meal. One small meal, such as beans and toast type of soup, simple sandwich. I'm going to go for. I'm of that. I was going to say ilk. I'm of that generation where I was brought up eating quite simplistic foods. So things like burnt toast with butter. What else? Scones, bran scones, oatcakes. These are all things that my mum used to make me quite a lot, and it's quite funny because I mean, knowing what I know now, I know that they're not good for you. But I used to always think that like oatcakes and bran scones were good for me because they've got bran in them. I know that's not the case, but I still do eat a lot of these things. So small meal, I'm going to go for what I eat a lot at the moment, and it's going to be oatcakes with butter and a little bit of jam. One type of sweet, I take it when you say yes, sweet as opposed to that, it's not chocolate bar. Type of sweet, it's going to be sherry trifle. Type of cereal, I think I'm going to go again because I'm going to be burning fat. I can afford to go for stuff with sugar. I'm going to go for Crunchy Nut cornflakes. Type of biscuit, eh, I think I'm going to go for a digestive biscuit. Type of chocolate bar, it's going to be, uh, what do you call it? Cadbury's whole nut. Yeah, whole nut definitely. Drink choices, water are given. One hot drink of your choice, a latte. Cold drink of your choice. Uh, I'm going to go for Coca-Cola. I really don't drink. No, in fact, I'm not going to go for Coca-Cola. I'm going to go for fresh orange because I drink fresh orange a lot. One alcoholic drink of your choice. It's going to be Guinness all the way. Also, the room where you collect your food and drink on the island has a type of nasty pest contained within. And every time you go in to collect your goodies, it's filled with this pest. But at least you get to choose which pest from the following. Remember though, you have a whole year dealing with said pest, and it always comes back and can never be destroyed. Choice of pests. All are venomous, but the venom is not fatal. Say around the bee sting level, that's awfully goody and milfy. Uh, I can either go for a spider, one spider, 2 wasps, 3 snakes, 4 scorpions, or 5 a group of reality stars. No, sorry, in fact, I don't think. Yeah, that's not one spider. That's the first choice. So spiders, wasps, snakes, scorpions, or a group of reality stars. I know what one would be the most terrifying, and that would be the reality stars, definitely. Um, Spiders, I don't mind spiders as long as it's not too many. I don't mind spiders. Not so much now; it's a bit cold, but you do get a lot of spiders coming into your house about kind of October, November time. I think that's like the mating season, and I don't throw them out. I never kill them. On the odd occasion, if they're kind of getting too close, I'll put them into a cup and I'll put them in the garden, and they probably come back in again. But ordinarily, I'll let a spider. I'll just leave it, and it disappears on its own. Wasps, whilst I won't ever kill a wasp unless it stung me, then I'd probably kill it just because I'd be so angry. Wasps are they're so temperamental, unpredictable. You never know how they're going to react. So definitely don't want wasps. Snakes, again, I don't mind snakes watching TV programs, but I don't think I would fancy having big. I've seen that David Attenborough. Is it the Blue Planet or whatever it is, Planet Earth, where it's a lizard trying to run across all these rocks and there's all these snakes chasing after it. It's the most hideous thing ever. So definitely no snakes. Scorpions, don't know much about them. I remember as a kid growing up in the 70s, I always thought that a scorpion was like lethal. You know, you get bit with a scorpion, you're dead. I don't think they're that bad. I think they're unpleasant, but I don't think you're going to die. And like I say, as group of reality stars, no chance. I'm going to go for spiders. I will take my chance with spiders. So yeah, thank you very much, Milty. That's a cracking one. I know some of your stuff is a bit left field. That's an understatement, but it's great to see you back again. Thanks for the questions. Continue them. Continue with it. Colin Jones, there are always people putting up vague. Yeah, I bought. I was telling people last Friday Waffle. Excuse me. I bought what I thought was a little gaming console from AliExpress, and it turns out. Excuse me, it turns out that what I'd bought, and bear in mind it was £110, including postage, I'd actually bought the protective case. The console was something like 300 quid. Now, the console, brand new from Japan, is about 200 quid. And I bought this from AliExpress thinking, oh, I'm getting a bargain. I'm getting one for half price. So yeah, I paid all that money and it was for a protective case. Fortunately, the seller did actually contact me, although I didn't know they'd contacted me until it was kind of almost too late to say that, do you know that you're only getting the case, you're not getting the console? And looking at AliExpress, apparently that's a thing that a lot of them do. They put a picture up of something or the description. In fact, what they tend to do is they'll put the description will be misleading. So say for example, it will say Xbox Series X console, but the photograph will be of a cover. So you think, oh, you look at that and you go, oh, it's 400 quid. Yeah, I'm getting an Xbox Series X, whatever. But you're actually getting the cover. So it's really, it's bad. It's really bad that they do that. So Colin Jones Ponder, there are always people putting up vague descriptions on sales sites that mislead you into thinking they're more than they are. I saw a Judge Judy clip on YouTube a while ago where a woman was being sued for selling a photo of a phone on eBay for the cost you'd expect for a second-hand phone. I have seen that before. People saying, by the way, you're only getting a photo of something. The case succeeded because Judy said the weight stated, i.e., the weight of the phone, didn't match the weight of the product, a piece of paper. Really? So it was only upheld because yeah, she obviously had like I don't know 100 grams, whereas a piece of paper would be 2 grams. But yeah, just be really aware and careful when you're buying stuff from these sites. Adverts, I don't get adverts because I'm one of those posh bastards who use premium. I choose to pay because I hate ads but want to support the content creators. It's a family package, so covers the six of us, and I do actually use its features provided. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I was talking about in the last week, all my videos have got adverts on them. Now, I'm not going to go into details. I've already spoke about why I do it, because the money that I get from Google is quite frankly shit. So I've upped the adverts because the people that watch my videos regularly, they all use ad blockers. I use ad blockers. You don't have to watch the adverts, but I'm going to have adverts on my videos just to see what the difference with income, see if it makes much a difference. What I did ask though was if people can let me know how they feel it's affecting their, I hate this phrase, viewing pleasure. Does it impede on you want to watch my channel? Are you going to unsubscribe to my channel because of the adverts? Hopefully people aren't going to do that, because I would like to hope that people appreciate the time and effort that goes into doing a channel. And all I'm trying to do is claw back a wee bit income from Google. I'm not asking anybody to donate or anything like that at all. So yeah, please let me know. Somebody did mention in, what was it, the Nice and Nasty podcast. In fact, it was the Edinburgh PC podcast. The adverts, you're listening to a podcast and then you're getting these irritating adverts. So for the podcast ones, I'm going to cut out the adverts completely, because that would annoy me. That would annoy me. But please let me know. I'm genuinely interested to know if you think, look, sorry, me Meister, it's shit. I hate the adverts. It's spoiling your videos. You're getting 4 or 5 adverts for like a 10-minute video. Let me know, because I want feedback. Anyway, question. Colin has got a question. Right. Question part two. I guess you don't have them, but a lot Internet of Things devices like smart bulbs, smart sockets, smart TVs are internet connected. Right, and controlled using voice commands via Alexa or similar. What are your thoughts on them? Would you have them? Do you think they're useful or a bit too much? What have I got? I've got my central heating is on a thing called Hive. So I can remotely control my central heating, which is great, because if I'm away, I can check the temperature. If my daughter phones me and says, "Dad, I'm cold," I can put the heating on. It's excellent. Um, just, yeah, being able to monitor it. I do have CCTV, which again I use an app. I don't use it to monitor anything, but I can enable, any activity. So if somebody was to come in the front door, I get an alert. Fantastic. It didn't cost me a lot of money. Got it from Amazon. Really, really handy to have. The only smart plug that I use is one downstairs, which I've got my TV, big TV, all my consoles plugged into. Again, it's great. I can just switch it off at the mains. If I'm going to be away for a week, I don't really want the power going to things. So I'm all for these things. And as for the smart speakers, Alexa and whatever it is, I think they're great. I know lots of people say you shouldn't have them. It's constantly listening to you. Well, of course it is, because it's waiting for you to say that word. Um, if you're going to embrace technology, you've got to understand that that's the way forwards. You can be like uber sensitive and paranoid about people exchanging your data and people listening to your conversations. I don't know. It's perfectly possible. So far, I don't think I've had any issues with it. I wouldn't be without it. I love having it. I can just ask the time. I can ask it to set an alarm. I mean, I use it for my music all the time. You're in the car, play AC/DC, back in black, whatever. It's great. I love all these kind of smart internet things, Colin. Wee Bob, great stuff. Enjoy your holiday. Adverts are fine and we'll deal with them. I did question when I listened to the Dave Perry interview why there was as many adverts as there was. Yeah, I'm going to switch that off, Bob, for that type of video. Happy to support. Like I says, enjoy your holiday. Thank you very much. Dale Boy, I was asking, yeah, last week I was talking about why are there no boxing games anymore? there's just no boxing games. And it turns out, well, what Dell said is UFC has destroyed the boxing game. Main boxers started to ask for too much money for likeness royalties, and so the shift moved to Ultimate Fighting Championships. You know what? You're probably right, Dale. It is probably down to sponsorship. Can you imagine? These guys now are so greedy. I don't care what anyone says. You know, somebody making 50 million for a 12 3-minute rounds. That is greedy. It really is. It's probably down to the lack of sponsorship. There are still boxing games. I know of one on Steam, but the control is awful as it won't use a console controller. Other boxing games are on VR like Creed. Hope that helped with an explanation. Yeah, I'd never really given that any thought. I suppose, yeah, UFC got no interest in playing a UFC game. I don't know why somebody couldn't. Could somebody not bring out a boxing game and just again don't use the real names? You know, just have sound alike games. So instead of Rocky, you can have Loki, Muhammad Ali. You can just have all the classic boxers of the time and just have fictional names. It's probably down to money. It probably is. So thanks, Dale. And that is it. That is it, folks. So listen, you've got half an hour of me talking anyway. I'm going to get going. I'm actually going out tonight. I'm going out with my mate to have a game of pool. So I hope you all have an excellent weekend. Like I says, please join me on Sunday night. You know, all going well, I'll be along on Sunday night. It might be later. It might be about 8 o'clock. Even if it's just for an hour, because I'm back to work on Monday. Yeah, have a great weekend. Like I say, thanks as always for your continual support. You know, I wouldn't do this if it wasn't for you guys. You know, I really mean that, and it's appreciated every single person that takes time to watch my videos. There will be more videos coming out. Obviously, I'm back from holiday. I did have a couple of videos that I'd kind of almost finished, but I never managed to get the kind of the get it edited and put together. I was wanting to get them put out before I went on holiday. Didn't quite work out that way, but I will be back to normal with more stuff. So until next time, folks, as always, thank you very much for watching.